A good day to all. In this recording, we, the Group 2, will be reporting on the retraction of Rizal. To begin with, we look at Dr. Jose Rizal's retraction letter. The content is as follows. I declare myself a Catholic, and in this religion in which I was born and educated, I wish to live and die. I retract with all my heart whatever in my words, writings, publications, and conduct has been contrary to my character as son of the Catholic Church. I believe and I confess whatever she teaches, and I submit to whatever she demands. I abominate Masonry as the enemy which is of the Church, and as society prohibited by the Church. The diocesan prelate may, as a superior ecclesiastical authority, make public this spontaneous manifestation of mine in order to repair the scandal which my acts may have caused, and so that God and people may pardon me. So, the retraction letter, in short, is that everything he wrote, said, and publicized against the Catholic Church, he withdraws. About the retraction letter, it dated back in December 29, 1896, just a day before the execution of Jose Rizal. It has said to have been signed by Rizal himself, and also the retraction was made because the church would not allow his marriage to Josephine Bracken unless he retracted his Masonic affiliation. This means that if Rizal retracted, he would be married, and if not, he would not be allowed by the church.
So our event started on July 3, 1892, when the La Liga Filipina was founded by Jose Rizal in the house of Dorotea Onghonco at Elias Street, Tondo, Manila. Then on July 17, 1892, Jose Rizal was exiled to the Pitan, Zamboanga del Norte until July 31, 1896 by the Spanish authorities, mainly because of the confiscated reading materials or the published books and articles of Rizal in other countries criticizing the mother Spain. Then on May 1895, Rizal got acquainted with Josephine Bracken in the Pitan. And then on August 1896, Rizal received permission to travel to Cuba as an army doctor. But on August 23, 1896, the cry of Pugadlawin started the Philippine Revolution against the Spanish Empire, and Rizal was caught in it because when the headquarters of the Katipunan were raided, the image of Jose Rizal was present, and so he was unintentionally caught in the revolution. He was brought back to the Philippines. Then, after arriving to Manila, he was put in jail at the Fort Santiago at Intramuros, and there he waited for his litigation or the process of taking legal action. Then, on December 26, 1896, Rizal was accused and tried, and he appeared in a law court before a military tribunal for the alleged crimes of rebellion, sedition, and illegal association. Then on December 28, 1896, Governor General Camilo Polavieja affirmed the death sentence and set the execution of Rizal on December 30, 1896 at 7 o'clock a.m. Then on December 29, 1896, the death sentence was read to Rizal in the morning in jail. Father Sadera and Father Luis visited Rizal, and he asked them whether some of those who had been professors were still there in Ateneo. So these were the people who influenced Rizal to the contract. And then Rizal decided to retract. Then on December 30, 1896, at 6 o'clock a.m., Josephine Bracken and Rizal was married, and after the marriage, Rizal began to march to the field of his execution in Bagumbayan, and in 8 o'clock a.m., Rizal was executed.
Next is, did Rizal wrote and sign the document of retraction? So Rizal said, that style is as simple as mine. Don't bother father to read it all. Dictate what I ought to profess or express, and I shall write, making in any case some remarks. So according to Father Balaguer, Rizal received and accepted the shorter retraction. Consistently claimed he was present in Rizal's prison and was able to convince Rizal to accept the Catholic Church because if he did not accept it, God will condemn him. So Father Balaguer also added that Rizal retracted because he wanted to marry Josephine Brackett. The content of his retraction paper was said to be made by the church on what he will be saying. So he wanted to retract, but he did not know what to write. But when he was given retraction paper for him to sign, he changed his mind and wrote what he wanted. It was supposed to have been signed by Jose Rizal moments before his death. There were many witnesses, most of them are Jesuits, and the document only surfaced for public viewing on May 13, 1935. It was found by Father Manuel A. Gracia at the Catholic Hierarchies Archive in Manila, but the original document was never shown to the public, only reproductions of it. However, Father Pio, a Spanish Jesuit, reported that as early as 1907, the retraction of Rizal was copied verbatim and published in Spain and reprinted in Manila. And Father Gracia, is the one who found the original document, also copied it verbatim. In both reproductions, there were conflicting versions of the text. Add to this, the date of the signing was very clear in the original Spanish document which Rizal supposedly signed. The date was December 29, 1890. Later, another supposedly original document surfaced. It bears the date December 29, 1890. The number 0 was evidently altered to make it look like a letter C. Then, still later, another supposedly original version came up. So, it has the date December 29, 1896. So, this time, the 0 became 6.
So, did Rizal and Josephine got married? Father Boligar testified that Father Vicente Garcia married Rizal and Josephine on December 30, 1896 at 6 o'clock a.m. Rizal dedicated a Catholic devotion book, De la Imitación de Cristo, The Imitation of Christ, to Josephine. The dedication read as follows: To my dear and unhappy wife, Josephine.
Moving on, next, we will tackle about the people who does not believe about the authenticity of the retraction paper, or those who did not believe that Rizal retracted, which we call as the anti-retractionists. So we have Senator Rafael Palma, Ricardo Pascual, and Antonio K. Abad. So we'll first discuss Senator Rafael Palma, who argued the retraction is not in keeping with Rizal's character and mature beliefs. He called the retraction document as a pious fraud or fraud in religion. If we put it this way, why would Rizal retract what he has said in the end just to get married? He did not retract to get back to the church, but only to get married. We are all aware that Rizal's morals goes beyond an unbelievable scale. He's been fighting for the freedom of the Philippines, and he knows what he's fighting for, and he's aware of what he's fighting with. The moment he had published his novels that exposes the mistreatment done by the friars and the Spanish government. So why would he retract what he had sacrificed for? Not to mention that he also wrote the Mi Ultimo Adios, or My Last Farewell, before his execution, wherein in this poem, as we know, he was able to talk about his eternal love for his country. And since this retraction paper will only symbolize about letting go of his claim and going against his principles. So next we have Ricardo Pascual. After analyzing 6 major documents of Rizal, he concluded that the retraction document discovered in 1935 was not in Rizal's handwriting. And what's suspicious about it is during 1896 to 1935, or almost 40 years, the document or the retraction letter was said to be lost. Considering that this document would have been more benefiting to the friars' part, since the person who had written against them had already retracted all his words and allegations. If this document truly existed and was real, the best thing that the friars would have done would be to parade it or show it to the public, not only to build back their stained reputation at that time, but we don't know. It could have even discouraged the revolution and those who were against them to be enlightened. Then, next we have Antonio K. Abad. Those who strongly believe the faking of Rizal's retraction document reported that the forger of Rizal's signature was Roman Roque, the man who also forged the signature of Urbano Lacuna, which was used to capture Emilio Aguinaldo. By the way, Urbano Lacuna was a brigadier general during the Philippine-American War. The mastermind, they say, in both Lacuna's and Rizal's signature forging was Lazaro Segovia. They were approached by Spanish friars during the final day of the Filipino-American War to forge Rizal's signature. Antonio Abad heard the tale from Roman Roque, or this story, to Roman Roque himself, since they were neighbors. So, others believe that the retraction of Rizal was made by the friars to negate the heroism of Rizal that was focused towards the friars' abuse during the Spanish regime. So, there are also others who also denied the retraction document, which are Frank Lubac, a Protestant minister, Austin Coates, a British writer, and lastly is Ricardo Manapat, who is the director of the National Archives.
According to a testimony by Father Vicente Balaguer, a Jesuit missionary who befriended the hero during his exile in Dapitan, Rizal accepted a shorter retraction document prepared by the superior of the Jesuit Society in the Philippines, Father Pio P., whilst Father Sanchez visited Rizal and asked him to retract, and Father Sanchez is said to be Rizal's favorite professor in Ateneo. The same with Father Patos. He sent numerous letters to Rizal asking him to retract. The act of retraction is established because while still in Dapitan, the condition inflicted on Rizal was no retraction, no marriage. It was Father Balaguer, the priest who had married them, testified under the oath that at 6 o'clock in the morning of December 30, Josephine Bracken and one of Rizal's sisters arrived crying bitterly. With the knowledge of the warden of the fort, I proceeded to the marriage of Rizal and Josephine. According to Catholic devotion books, after Rizal had retracted, he read a blue pamphlet entitled Aceptación de la Muerte, containing the acts of faith, hope, and charity. After this, he went to confession and received Holy Communion, and afterward, Rizal was accompanied by 2 Catholic priests to his execution ground before he was shot. Rizal kissed the crucifix who offered to him by the 2 Catholic priests, which shows that Rizal is a son of the Catholic Church, which in fact Rizal has a love towards the Catholic Church and the Catholic religion. It is just that Rizal is angry with those people who want to destroy the Catholic religion. Father Manuel A. Garcia's account of events, he came across a bundle of document entitled Masoneria. In this bundle, he came across the document of retraction which had been long lost. Archbishop O'Doherty, despite the approval of Teodoro Calao, the director of the National Library, was not satisfied with the mere document itself. So he requested Professor H. Otlet Bayer, professor of anthropology in the University of the Philippines, to study and examine the Rizal retraction document. He examined Rizal's supposed handwriting in the document of retraction and compared it with 150 letters and documents that were written in Rizal's handwriting. There is not the slightest doubt that every word on the document of retraction was written by Jose Rizal, except for the signatures of the other witnesses. The whole document was found to be written by Rizal in his normal handwriting, said by Professor H. Otlet Bayer.
So here's the important notes. The document only surfaced for public viewing on May 13, 1935. It was found by Father Manuel A. Garcia at the Catholic Hierarchist Archive in Manila, but the original document was never shown to the public, only reproductions of it. So overall, Dr. Jose Rizal did not write against the Catholic religion, but at the friars for their abuses. So that's all, the retraction of Jose Rizal. Thank you for listening.